Good evening, everybody. I just welcome to everybody who's joined this session for high-speed rail education system. So today we will just discuss about the high-speed rail education systems. So let's start about from that. So and in addition, we're just going to be check about Mumbai to Ahmedabad for the high-speed rail. This is just general overview about this presentation. And these are the contents I'm going to explain about in detail. So this is about the high-speed rail education systems. It just started from US. It's widely about in international seminars on system implementation. And the next one is international workshop on high-speed rail planning and operation. And an upcoming and the high-speed rail learning system. It's about the online education courses, which is happening in University of Lyons. And the next is high-speed rail seminars. And further about, we're going to discuss about scope of MOU and Mumbai to Ahmedabad high-speed rail overview. And just we will further go on. Yeah. And this, I'm going to explain about this is high-speed rail in the United States of America. They actually, when the high-speed rail is going to be started in every country, it's like even US and UK and here. So they're going to conducting a special seminar in order to understanding about high-speed rail systems. So the same way in United States, they just conducted various seminar to just in order to implement the high-speed rail networks. So in US, especially for APTA, American Public Transportation Association, and University of Illinois, and along with UIC, they just hosted the various seminars in 2010 and 2011. So the particular purpose of this seminar was to provide the US decision makers, so which all necessary information to just in order to collect and to take a final decision to implement this high-speed rail system in US. In this is a website which is in US. It is an American Public Transportation System, and everybody can see and access these conferences. In high-speed rail, they're just conducting a various seminar in 2010 in like in high-speed rail practice. So and in Washington and Chicago and Los Angeles. So there is a various location. This is the presentation and the explanation process has been happened. And for the first time, it was happened on 2010 for the international seminar in US. So they just model 1, 2, 3, 4. In those various model, they just explain about what is going to be high-speed rail and how the program is going to be implemented in US. And the second one is the model 2 as described about infrastructures for high-speed rail. It's about civil and for all other related structures for upcoming to be construction. So how is going to be done for how the infrastructure is going to be developed. And the third thing is just important thing about the rolling stock and what of the rolling stock is going to be choose, because in worldwide there are many rolling stock systems is happen, like in UK and Japan there have been expertise in the rolling stocks, and it has been explained in those presentation. And finally as model 4 and the operation, once the design and conception has been done and how the operation is going to be done, whether the employer is going to be operate or is there any particular agency or those people is going to be operation, those people has been explained and in detail. In the next one, the another seminar is happened on 2011. It's about the track 101 and track 102, and this is some more detail about explanation has been done, because in last 2010 it is about only the general explanation. So when the seminar is happened on 2011, it's just more detail in order to the government is going to be taken a decision. So they want to know some elaborated information how the high-speed rail it really works. So for that they just prepared many presentation and videos, and that's explained to all the relevant stakeholders are participating on those things. It's about the high-speed rail system, infrastructure, and rolling stock and operation. In further, it's just more in detail about how the high-speed rail system works. It's about the mechanical and electrical and rolling stock system. It was a signaling and telecommunication and all this. It is in a combined system how it works. The next one is the environmental. So due to the high-speed rail, what was the consideration to be done as per the environmental factor? Because this is the most critical case for all the country. So environmental is the important thing which to be considered in the construction part. So without this, it's very difficult to proceed the construction. So the environmental case is a more difficult thing, as well as this is a more important thing in just in order to consider it. So the next about they were explain about the station for high-speed rail systems. So how the station is going to be come up. So about the architecture, about the structure, and about the landscaping and those everything. And further, the model 4 has been explained about traffic forecasting. So during the feasibility study, they just considered about road and railways of the current railways, how the switch mode is going to be happening due to the high speed rail. So how many people is going to be converted in future from road to high speed rail by air to high speed rail. So this kind of traffic demand has been checked and detailed about in US. And at the last, it's finally is going to be taken about standards for high speed rail system. This is the most important part when the high speed rail is going to be begin out, because which is the particular more wide area. It's because, and as well as this is one of the important decision has to be taken up. Let's go for the next slide. This is I'm going to talk about the international works on high-speed rail planning and operation. Especially in US, is in the Arizona State University, the University of National Transportation Center. It has been hosted the international workshop on high-speed rail. It just in order to just check the demand, how the high-speed rail it is reality is to become up. So this is basically about the planning and operation and towards economic development and sustainability. So this is the seminar and workshop has been happened on October 13, 2015 in Washington. So it's just a one-day seminar. So this seminar, so it has been technology is going to be transferred to the particular country. So even that the future leading high-speed rail, those planners and practitioners and research people and education person and all the relevant stakeholders from United States, Denmark, and China, they were just has been participated. So in mainly those speaker has been discussed and elaborated about the economic and environmental challenges for the particular high-speed rail, and how based on this high-speed rail, what are the opportunities is going to be come up for the high-speed rail system and case examples. So has been explained in more detail and in wide area. Then the next slide. So this is a slide. I just put it apart in because this is the workshop has been already uploaded in YouTube. So this is a link has been given in particular this page, and just make a note of that, and you could able to everybody can see it. So these workshops and YouTube in online. The next one, I'm going to talk about high-speed rail lining system. This is in the United States. They just started in 2011. So this is the main advantage of this particular learning system. This move based on online. So by the online, how the people is going to be interacted with the education system and how the people is going to be get more knowledge about this railway education. So especially in the United States, has begin started this developing a high-speed rail network. in 21st century. So when they're going to begin the high-speed rail system, they just think about during the high-speed rail education, it's more necessary in order to develop the skilled workforce and expertise in planning, design, and construction, and for the operation for the particular high-speed rail system. So this particularly the website has been designed for the Michigan Technology University and Minnesota Transportation Institute. So this both team has been combinedly worked and they get to just know about particular website is going to be created for everybody. And this is not only for US and this is for the whole everywhere for all the countries. So this is for applicable and open access for everybody and everybody can log in and everyone can understand about this railway education. And this is next slide. I'm going to just take about when you just a moment. So when you just open this particular website, you can register it. So when you get in register it, you can get it login inside. And when you get it login in, there is a various tabs you can find it. So there is a three important tabs which I just posted here. This is about the videos and recording, workforce development, and high-speed rail basics. So the first tab, you can learn about high-speed rail basics. So this is about the various presentation, videos, and explanation part has been given that. So it's about the introduction about the high-speed rail and how the high-speed rail technology has been happened and how the management it can be done in the various. There are four presentation and it's not a four presentation. This is the four courses. So you can able to enroll it and log it and you can read it in detail. And another one is about the videos and recordings. This is about the Railroad Engineering and Education Systems Symposium. This has happened on 2016. So for all those videos and recordings, it has been, you can enroll it and you can check it there. So the next one about the workforce development. So this is the important criteria has been Michigan Rail has been taken an initiative in order to have a conference yearly basis in US. So this is only to particularly about the for all the people who is going to be undergone the further study. So the people for those they should know about what is going to be the high-speed rail and what all the participant can be done during the education on that. So it's just in order to understand the study. So for that, they have been enrolled in everywhere, all the education persons and participants, and they've been studying in detail. And it has been discussed very detail about what is the high-speed rail. And based on that, though many people has been accessed from US and they just studied about what is exactly about the high-speed rail. So based on this, and in US, they just got an idea what is exactly about the high-speed rail and how it's going to be come up and what are the technologies going to be implemented in US. So by the using this study and everyone can understand about. So for this way has been US, they have been explained in there. So there is a many people can enroll this like a student, rail professional, and other professionals. It's like academic, and for all other various professionals can enlog it and can just check about this detail and everything. So especially this course is designed for railway education for high-speed rail. And the next slide is going to be I'm talking about high-speed rail course. It's particularly, I think there is no any particular course in India about the high-speed rail, but in US they just started about high-speed rail courses in University of Leons. So in Leons in rail tech, they just started courses. They just created a courses about high-speed rail engineering. So this is a course, and after graduation, so the people can join directly. This is about the higher studies about the masters. So the people can directly engage it and can study about these technologies in just to understand about the high-speed rail. In university, there is a various model has been explained. So which I'm talking about high-speed rail engineering. and planning and construction management. So what are the things is going to be covered up in that? So the first of all, they're going to high-speed rail engineering. They're going to explain about introduction of high-speed rail. So what is exactly about the introduction of high-speed rail? So in high-speed rail, so as worldwide, they just checked about in more than 200 kilometers speed about the rail system. It was an high-speed rail. So in this high-speed rail system, they just explained in detail about the introduction. So and what are the development it's need for the country in order to develop the high-speed rail. So that is more described in detail and key ways to the development of the HSR and the car body and propulsion and braking. These are the technological oriented things. It has been explained about in more detail. About the car body, it's about the rolling stock, and propulsion is about the system which works for that, and braking system for the everything has been explained in detail. And the next one is safety and onboard amenities. So high speed rail, when the speed is concerned, the same time the safety also is a more concern about that. So the people is thinking about that. So when the high speed rail works, how safe it was that, and how safe the people has travel in over there. So this is a main, and also many countries has been checked about the safety about onboard amenities and what are the lifestyle while traveling there. So what was the difference or the person can feel from change for the normal train and for high speed rail? So what are the lifestyle is going to be, you can travel those high speed rail, you can just learn from that. So the next one is propulsion system and power feeding system. This is about the electrical engineering. So this explained in more detail. So this was the part is covering in high-speed rail engineering. The next one is high-speed rail planning. So in the planning stage, there are some various modes has been happened. So because usually when high-speed rail is going to be begin, they're going to be make more preliminary and feasibility studies is going to be conducted for each corridors. So when there is a one 200 or 500 or 800 or 1000, so what are the kilometers is going to be start? What are the cities is going to be connect? So wherever the things is going to be passed. So for all the detail and planning is to be done for the high-speed rail system. So whether this particular system is going to be work out or not, so the make in more detailed study is going to be happen for the planning stage. And when the planning has been done, the next one is think about the route and station. So where the particular route is going to be passed and which are the cities is going to be stations are located. So there is a detailed analysis has been happened, done. It was done by the various high-speed rail professional and experts, and those people are counterpart in the stakeholders. It was involved in that. So then next one is the ridership forecasters. So this ridership forecast is mainly particular about how much people is going to be carry over that. So especially the ridership forecast. So it is considered about when the high-speed rail is begin, how many people is going to travel, and in futures, how many people can switch over from road to air, and for all the considering for all the aspects, it should be considered in that. So the next one is economical impact. This is whether this project is economically viable, whether it's going to be start for the country as everything. So it's the details study should be taken for all the economics and all the government and all the decision makers of this particular project is going to be combinedly sit and together, and everybody has been discussed in detail about the cost and everything, and finally the economic impact analysis is going to be done. So it's for the decision making whether the particular project is going to be feasible and construction. The last session will be high speed rail construction management. So the high-speed rail construction management and how is going to be done during the construction stage, and whether the when the station is going to be developed and during the station, and what are the various infrastructure is going to be covered like bridges, tunnels, and for all the infrastructure. So for all the infrastructure, what kind of the management is to be done during the construction. So this has been explained in more detail in over there.